again. And we are live. Good morning, South Florida, and hello, world. I am Robert Henderson Jr., President, founder, CEO of the Henderson Financial Group, live here in the beautiful studios of the Henderson Financial Group, located here in Miami Lakes, Florida. And joining me live is my co-host, my brother from another mother, the living legend, the one and only James T. Thomas. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, Rob. It's good seeing you. And
Yeah, man, good seeing you.
I, we've been. I don't know if we've been crossing paths, but we've both been traveling.
Traveling a
Yeah.
lot, man. Traveling a lot, boy. I tell you. But thank God you can get up and go and see something, do something, right?
Oh man, I was talking with my friend Joe Bullard this morning. He's in Orlando, and he said that he walked out and he met this gentleman from Miami. I think it was he and his brother. And he was a doctor from Miami, and so Joe Bullard, in talking to him, uh, finding out, said, "Do you know my friend James T in Miami?" He said, "James T on the radio? I haven't heard him on the radio in a while." Yeah. Rob. And so Joe took pictures and sent pictures and all of that. And he said he thanked me for serving the community. And Rob, this is what you and I do. It's all about serving others, blessing others, giving information, helping others to help themselves, so that we can all say that, hey, when the tide comes in, nobody gets drowned. We can all
Yeah.
rise.
Yeah, man. It's all about serving, helping one another. You know, if you really want to amass wealth and get money, you have to serve. You have
Ooh.
to do for others. You have to give first. And boy, I tell you, your blessings will come. If you helping others and serving others, you will be prosperous in more
And
ways
Robert,
than one.
and Robert, and if you're not doing it that way, look out. Hey,
You will be.
somebody's coming to get you, right?
That's right, man. If you serving, and there's so many ways to serve now. If you serving legally, you will
Legally.
prosper. You will prosper. More than one way. I'm telling you, man. It's all about serving, and you can be great, and all of us can be great. Like King said, Martin Luther King said, you know, the greater you are, the more you serve, and you can look at that. The people who are prosperous, they're serving, they're giving, they're helping, they're sharing, and that's what it should be about. I mean, you know, if you want to know really what life's all about, it really is when you come into this planet, and then you start trying to figure things out. It's really about helping your fellow loved ones, your neighbors, your family, giving, and you shall receive. It really is,
Hmm.
and they don't teach us that. We haven't been taught that coming up. Most of us, a lot of our cultures haven't been taught that. But if you think about it, and you want to know the secret to prosperity, it's giving. It really is. And people say, "Well, how if I ain't got none, how am I gonna give something?" No, 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 no. You
You
can
have
give
something.
something. You
You
have
have
something.
something. You have something.
It's not
Now,
always green dollars, but you have something.
right. And Rob, if they don't know what they have, wait until you lose one of the things or any of the things that you have, and you'll say, "Wait a minute." I was talking with I won't call it any names, but I was talking with a gentleman, and he said, "You know something? I never liked drinking water." He said, I drink water at dinner." He said, "But all of a sudden, when I found myself in the hospital, and they said it was because I was dehydrated and all that brought." He said, "Man, I'm drinking water every time I think about it. If drinking water is going to keep me out of the hospital, I'm going to drink water." He said, "I just never drink water. I just when I have dinner, I'll get a glass of water, but that was all it was." But the
Yeah,
other part of that, Rob, is, and I want you to get in with your message, but when we ask God to give us that he has for us that goes beyond what we can ask, think, or imagine, we best ask for him to give us all that we need to handle it. because hey, when you get that gift that he has for you, hey, there's only one way that you're going to be able to handle it, particularly when it goes beyond what you can ask, think, or imagine, and that is to step out in faith.
that's right. That's right, brother. You hit the nail around the head. That you have to have faith. You have to believe. You know, you have to believe in things that you can't see,
Mm,
but believe
mm,
that they are there and they will
mm,
come. And that's a powerful belief. I mean, it's like magnet, you know. It's I got a friend of mine that they gave him 2 life sentences plus 60, and most people thought that he's never going to get out. And I used to talk to him all the time and send him books and stuff, and he used to say he was getting out. And then we say, "Hi, I don't know," but I said, if you said it, I believe it. He said he was getting out, and after 27 years, man, them doors open. He got out. Isn't that something? It was like, it's like seeing a ghost. They had to give him 2 life sentences plus 60.
And
when he went in, he was 40 years old.
Wow.
So that means he had to die, come back, then do another 60. and he kept saying, "Man, I'm getting out of here. I'm getting out of here." And believe it or not, man, this year he got out. And I'm like, everybody like, whoa. They said, "Can you believe he got out?" I said, "Yeah, I believe it," because he kept saying it. and he kept believing it.
Rob, and I see him. If you see him, can you? Now, what they was really asking was, how did that happen? But that's another story.
Oh yeah, see, when you believe something and you want something and you have your desires, you think about it, and you think about it all the time, and you put action so in doing it, you really don't have to worry about how it's gonna happen. That's not your job. Your job is to be the thinker. I'm gonna say it again, because that probably went over some people's head. Everything that I have achieved, I first thought about it. Didn't know how I was gonna get it, but I know I had to do my part, and then the universe did the other part. And that seems like hocus pocus to a lot of people, but that's some stuff that really works. And if you get it, if you get a hold to it and grab hold to it, I'm telling you, it's true. It works for you. It's magical. You know, it's not no fairy tale stuff. If you believe something and put your whole heart in it, but you also take necessary steps to help that come to fruition, that's all you got to do is do your part. And in the magical universe or law will take care of the other. You meet somebody come in your life, something that happened that you didn't even know. And next thing you know, boom, it's there. You know, it's happening. You know, that's just how it is. I want to say good morning to Mr. and Mrs. Redhead, Nell Redhead, and Annie Edwards, my classmate from 3rd grade. I tell you, that's Antonio Woodbury's mother. Elementary school together, then middle school, then graduated high school together. Boy, I tell you.
And we're real proud of her son, Rob. We are very proud of her son.
That's my old classmate, Annie Edwards. And then we got Brenda Brown. Good morning. And we also got P Victor Parnell. I'm proud of that brother, dude. Parnell, bro. Now, Parnell was a good student. He is a good student. He listened, and boy, Parnell can tell you his story. He came from this to that. And right now, he is a multimillionaire. I shouldn't say that, Parnell, but Parnell's smart enough. He can handle the girls. He can handle the pressure. He walking around here with bling bling. You wouldn't be able to tell. He walking around here like somebody who just normal. You know what I mean? I mean, he is normal, but he actually did his money right. And Islam, I'm proud of you too, Islam. You and Mike, you have done a very good job saving your money and having a plan and sticking to your plan. Good morning, Islam. Also, you and Mike. And Denise Ward, I'm very proud of you. Denise Ward got involved with the Henderson Financial Group. This got a family involved. And I'm very proud. Now, that's when you're talking about sharing. That is sharing. Like, hey, I got something good here, and I want to share it with the rest of my loved ones. And she really did. Right on to her sisters, her mama. I mean, she really, really do. So I'm so proud of you too, Denise Ward. I'm proud of all of y'all, really. Who else we have here? All right. So the rest of the game, they probably coming in. I know we have a lot of people that didn't sign in, but watching, and we got a lot of people that watches, and we never know they're looking. but hey, just because you don't see it, don't mean they're not there, and we believe in that. All right. Good. Listen. Last week we were out because I was traveling. James T was traveling, but the week before that, if you go back, I went on a tear talking about reflection. See, let me tell you why reflecting and introspection is really looking inside of your life and looking at the past. See, if you look at the past and looked at a lot of your trials and tribulations and all like, oh my God, how am I out of this? That gives you faith and courage that wherever you're fighting, whatever situation you're fighting right now, this too shall pass. That's one of the reasons why you want to look at your past. You really do. You want to reflect. So you know that you got it at jam. Because remember, you was in the 2nd grade or the 10th grade or the 12th grade. Remember, you was 21 years old or 30 years old and something happened. You're like, oh my God, this is the worst thing. Luckily, you didn't kill yourself. And you got through it. Now look at you right now. That's how life works. Life is not a Polaroid snapshot. It is a movie. Life continues to change. Stuff change. Everything will change. No sense in you being sad about it. Everything will change. There's no sense. I used to have an afro. Look at me now. You know what I mean?
When I put some of those pictures up, I used to have dreads all the way.
Yeah, yeah. That's still James T. That's still Robert Henderson.
Hey.
You look at yourself. Ain't no sense in you going to get all that cosmetic surgery and mess around and die. Ain't no sense in doing that. It is a part of life, and it's a beautiful part of life, and you should be embracing it. You know, just because you got fat. Hey, I used to be skinny, man.
Stop.
You still no more, man. I watch what I eat. I gotta drink a whole lot of water. A lot of water. So reflecting. Now let's talk financial. How you doing, Mr. Cleveland? Mr. and Mrs. Cleveland, good to see you all also. Here, see you right there present. So let's look. Before I left last week, we were out. Before that, I went on a tear talking about let's go through the stages of life, the financial life. And I want you all to go back with me and recap when you first got your job, started working for an employer, how they, rushed you in like cattle. You really was happy to get the job. Thank God they hired you. And next thing you know, if you was fortunate enough to get to getting a company that had benefits, 401k or retirement accounts, that when I say fortunate, what I really mean, when you get hired from a company and they say they have company benefits, I would say it's a blessing and a curse. Okay, all right. It's a blessing and a curse. Robert, how could it be a blessing and a curse? Okay. Well, a gun could be a blessing and it could be a curse if it's handled the wrong way. A knife, used the wrong way can be a blessing to cut meat or whatever. But, left in the wrong hands of somebody, a serial person killer, it's a curse. You got a knife. So when I say, when you get employed and you get those benefits, you say it's a blessing, but then it could be a curse because oftentimes we stay too long on stuff. We stay too long. In other words, we get complacent. And life is transit. It's always moving. I told you it's not a snapshot. And anytime you get to a situation where you snapshot something, then something's wrong. We are evolving, changing. Our world is evolving and changing. We're not in a horse and buggy anymore. And if you stay with still trying a horse and buggy, you're gonna be left behind in this in this world, from industrial world to a technological world. And right now, it's AI, it's changing, and you can be, really stubborn and say you're gonna stay still, but the days don't stay still. Your age don't stay still. You're not in the second grade anymore. You're not in the third grade. Me and Annie in the same classroom anymore. We're older. So once you understand how the universe and how life evolves, you have to continue to roll with the punches. You have to flow. Our blood streams and our bodies and our veins don't just stay. If our arteries clog up, that means they ain't moving, they ain't flowing. You're supposed to flow. Prosperity means to flow, to change the scenery. It's a beautiful thing. Don't cry. It's just called the circle of life. Lion King, the circle of life. So what I'm trying to basically say is when I said, when you first got your first job and they told you the group term, let me tell you how it's a blessing. Group term, because when you first get a job and you have an employee and they give you insurance and you make $50,000 and they give you, if you die, they give your loved ones $50,000 one time your salary, or you could pay a little extra for 2 times your salary or 3 times your salary. That's a good thing. But it's a good thing while you there. But most people that get a job, they're not staying to stay there until they're dead. They're going to leave on. So if you're going to leave, when you leave, if you start at 20-something years old, now you 50, 60 years old and you leave, that same group term stays there. Then you have nothing. You're naked. That's the curse, because they didn't tell us, listen, when you get this job, and I want y'all to tell your kids this and your grandkids, okay? Your loved ones, young people who just come out of college, you got to educate them. Or tell them, watch this show or call the Henderson Financial Group. 2 things are always going on. You can't stay too long. When you travel and take a road trip, you can't go in the turnpike and use the restroom and stay in there. You got to come out. You can't stay too long. You cannot. I've been married 38 years. It made me think about staying too long. But she has changed. She ain't the same one. I remind her, she remind me. Natalie, you ain't the same as you were. Robert, you ain't the same either. We change. Some of y'all can't deal with them change. I understand. But everybody changes. Don't ever think that you're going to get in any situation. My Henderson Financial Group has changed for the better. We know that. We learn different stuff. Okay, so let me go back to why I say when you get the group term, because you don't have to take individual physicals. They don't check you. As long as you work for the company, you got life insurance. And it's a little bit of money that you have to pay because it's a group. So they give a group of discounts. You could be 500 pounds. Next person could be 100 pounds. Both of y'all get approved. You can have diabetes when you're in group, when you with your group employer. You have diabetes. You know, you can have cholesterol, everything. They don't check that when you're in group. So that's good. So now you covered. But unless you're going to die there, if you plan on moving like the world says, how we evolve, one day you're going to retire and then you're going to leave there and then you're going to be naked and then you're going to have nothing. So what they fail to tell us, when you do get the group policy, you ought to try to get an individual policy that when that job lay you off, fire, or you quit or you retire, that policy is still good and you got it at a young age. That's the curse. They didn't tell us. The same thing when you get a 401k company benefit plans. That's a blessing and a curse. Why? Because they sell it like, first of all, most people, believe it or not, wouldn't save a penny. So when they take and put money inside a 401k or IRA or some type of retirement plan, government plan, that encourage you to put money away for yourself, because a lot of people spend all their money. Most people act opposite of a squirrel. At least a squirrel will eat some nuts and put some away. That's just natural. And we are better than squirrels. But 95% of people will just eat all their nuts. And when wintertime comes, like, well, look around, I ain't got nothing. You got some home? No. You're supposed to always save some money for yourself. But if they didn't have those company benefit plans, 401k or IRA or SEP or some sort of plan for employer, people wouldn't save nothing. People call me, they say they saving $25 a pay period. $25 a pay period. So if you get paid a pay period, so you get paid every 2 weeks, that's $25 every 2 weeks. So in 4 weeks, you save $50. So in 12 months, $50 times 12, you save $600. And you call yourself grown. What is that, a kid? You save $600 for your retirement for the whole year? Because you pay, what? Think about what you're doing. Look at what you're doing. Oh, I put away, I put away $100 a month. $100 a month? You go out and eat Burger King and fast food with that. That's all you paying yourself? Think about that. But if they didn't offer that, you wouldn't do that. So it is a blessing that they do offer that. It's a curse that that you're not doing more. Plus, when you do that, you think you're getting a tax deduction. You are. It's not a deduction. It's a tax postponement, meaning that the more money you put inside of a 401k retirement plan, 457 plan, and you retire, you're going to have to pay it all back. How? Because every time you take it out, you got to give them some forever. And if you die, whoever you leave it to, they got to give them some. It never stops until they get everything they gave you back, until the government gets it back. The government's is smart. That's why it's a curse if you don't understand, but most people not paying attention. Y'all got that? Am I talking too fast, James?
No, Rob. But my question to my Linda question is, but Rob, if I'm not saving enough, is there a percentage that I should? Is there an amount that I should? Now, how do I prepare if I'm not going to be at that job? And what happens should I leave that job before retirement?
Well, a lot of jobs, Microsoft just laid off 9,000 people. You know, if you're not saving enough, you know you're not saving enough. When you're sitting there looking like Bobo the Clown, you know you're not saving enough. You should be saving minimum 10%. You're doing something if you start saving 20%.
Okay.
And listen, I was talking to a guy, a wealthy guy. This guy told me he saved 50% of everything he gets. Can you believe that?
Oh yeah, Rob.
50%.
Hey, Rob, I was watching a thing uh, with Ocho Cinco, I think it was, a football player, right? I mean, well known.
Ex football player, right?
Oh, ex football player. But well, I think they all think they can still play, but he's not on anybody's team. But he was saying when he came into the league, he said, "I stayed at the stadium." You know, he said they had the rooms, the cafeteria, the food. I mean, so saving 50% is not a difficult thing if you have the mindset of doing that. You
Right.
know, right? Because my first saving thing was I wanted to be able to save 6 months of my salary. You know, because hey, I was out there rolling. I was out hey working here, working there, doing the station, da 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 da. Having all. And I said, and then I turned around and I got me some more insurance because I was always on the road. Back in the day, I think it was I don't. They probably don't even exist anymore. Mutual of Omaha or something. And I
Yeah, he's
wanted.
still around.
Oh, they're still around? Well, I
Yeah.
wanted my salary to be covered just in case because I was traveling all the way from, I don't know what county Clewiston is, but from Clewiston, Florida to Miami, and I was doing that weekly, multiple times sometimes, and being on the road as often as I was on the road, the first thing I said, hey, I want to be able to save me 6 months of my salary. Now, and then all of a sudden I said, whoa, if I can save 6 months, I can save a year. So that, but guess what I didn't have until I met you? I didn't have what should I do with it? I had the cash of the money. And that's the question I think that most people will find out. It says, okay, I saved 20%. What should I be doing with that 20%? How can I have that money work for me so that it earns money? And
Well,
go ahead.
to answer your question, how could you have the money work for you? First of all, you got to know thyself. When you have money, you have to know who you are and your investment temperament. Are you a risk taker? Are you moderately? Or you just very real conservative? When you put money in the bank and it's earning nothing, that's not investing.
Right.
That's just saving and somebody else investing your money.
But even if you don't put it in the bank, Rob, like I said, James, I said I was gonna save when I had my 6 month salary, I just had the cash.
We just had it in a mattress somewhere. Right.
Well, no, probably not.
Somewhere. Well, you had it on you. You had it somewhere, buried or walls or whatever.
No. I had a safe.
Okay, you had a safe. All right. But see, when you had a safe back then your money still won't earn. The money should always, remember I told you,
yes,
we live in a world that's fluid, that you have to continue. Things got to keep going. Energy, you have to keep going. So you want to take that money and put it somewhere where earn interest.
Rob, and that's why I'm saying right now, if we're talking about what they should do, they should save. But now, how do you and what do you do with the money saved as you're building up this saving? What should your mindset be?
Okay, as you're building up this savings, you want to say, I want to put this money somewhere where it can earn more money than what I can just have it in the savings. And you want to look, so you want to say, can I get 10% on this money? Okay. And you want to put it away. Can I get 15%? Can I get 20%? If you put money in a company like Apple Computer, I mean, Apple goes up 20%, 30% in a year. That's pretty good, and you don't pay any taxes. But then I don't know if you have the temperament to deal with stocks, because they don't just go straight up. So there, if you are conflicted with that because you don't like the stock market, it's so unpredictable. So then there's something that you can get guaranteed, where you can get a 5%, where you don't have to worry about the stock market at least.
But that's where I'm saying now. Until I met you, I didn't know that. That's why we have to tell our viewers and our listeners that they need to find that person that will say, okay, and not so much, I want to put my money here, but here is where I am. Here is what I'd like to do. Here's what I'm thinking of, so that you can have a strategy. Whenever people ask me about you and all of that, I said, hey, just don't call him and tell him what you want to do. Call him and tell him who you are and what you'd like to do, and how would he advise you as to where and as you said, based on temperament,
Yeah.
based on risk.
Well, everything
Yes.
everything starts with an ask.
Yeah, but no, Rob. A lot of people want to tell. They heard.
Well, the girl
that,
ain't know you liked her until you asked her. You told,
no, Rob. They'll say, John Doe, Jane Doe told me. So here's what I want to do with my money, because they said that, hey, bro, back in the day, they said they got on that plane or that train and they were gonna move up in seats, and when they got to the pilot seat, they was gonna turn around and there's all kinds of scams out there where people will tell you that they earned money or they made money, and all of a sudden, hey, they won't come to you and say, Rob, what should I do? So you should start with, you need someone, a financial planner. You need someone that can help you with financial literacy. You need someone who can say, I can plan not just for your vacation in the next 2 years or 3 years. If you want to go to the, man, boy, they blowing me away. I get invitations, man, to go to weddings all over the world. And I'm saying, now, wait a minute. You didn't send tickets. You just sent an invitation. And they got the hotel reservations on. Rob, so that's what I'm saying. We need to be ye renewed by your thinking.
But even Jesus says, it starts with you, what you believe and what you ask. You ask, and you have to believe it. You know what I mean? It still starts. The answer is, there's no shortage of answers. There's a solution for everything, but you have got to ask the right question.
Right. And it has to be a mindset, Rob, because there are people that are just, I've spoken to young people in high school. I have spoken to young people who didn't believe that they were going to live to be 30 years of age. They just wanted to have a good time, man.
Well, when you people like that, then there's nothing you on the outer can do anything, because
we got whoa. But we got to do something, Rob. That's why parents, grandparents or whatever. Hey, because if we don't, Rob, if we don't,
but you've heard you can lead a horse to the water, but you cannot make him drink.
Rob,
I'm saying, do you believe that you can lead a horse to the water?
Mm-hmm.
But it's impossible for you to make them drink. Do you believe that?
No, I don't believe that, because, Rob, guess what? I'm going to feed him salt. I have learned that if I feed him salt and put the water in the trough, at some point, that salt going to make him drink that water, Rob.
Well, James, and according to scriptures, as you and I believe in the creation, there's this thing called choice. You have to pick up your bed and ain't nobody gonna pick it up for you. You have to do that. You know that.
What my grandmother used to say, Rob, guess what? She said, she would say, if she called it need mo, but it was need more. If need more does not bother you, don't worry about me, because there's going to come a time when you're going to need more, and you're gonna be seeking. And then when you're seeking that, you're going to, hey, can somebody tell me, how do I get in touch with the Henderson Financial Group? Can somebody tell me, how can I become, and I've been seeing this brother on, we had him on earlier. His name escapes me, but he's talking to a lot of the colleges. And he says, I can tell you how to become a millionaire in 5 years. Yeah. So now, if a person wants that, and wants to listen, and he's not saying, go to my webpage or go to, pay me $1,000 or whatever. He said, no. I can tell you how. And Rob, that's what you do. You're offering things to people, information. Yes, it's up to them to receive it, but at some point, they are going to need to hear the information, or they're going to need to be able to share the information, and they can only share it by checking and share it and be truthful about it by checking in with you.
Yeah, but James, you do believe there comes a point where you could talk to you blue in the face to someone and give them all the answers, and they still won't do it. You do know that, right? Remember I talked about last 2 weeks ago, and I said there are 3 types of people. There's people who do, people who know, and there's people who know when they're told, and there's people who just will never know. I don't care how much you talk to them until the blue in the face, they're just not gonna do it.
Well,
you do believe that? I mean,
well, I'm going to say, I must say, I believe that they'll act that way for a period of time, Rob. These are different. Everybody that checks in with us, Ms. Brown, Mr. and Mrs. Victor, all of them will say, and James T will say, at one time in my life, I did not know then what I now know.
That's the second person.
But wait, but check this out. But all that I now know is not all there is to know. So I'm still asking.
We never know everything. That's what's the beauty of it.
Yes.
But the three type of people: those who see, those who see when they are told, those who never will see. Now, the people who was at this here and now they done better, that's because they said, oh, now I see. And then you have people they just come into the world, they just know. They're just like geniuses, they're just prodigies. They just know. And then you have the people once you or I talk to them and tell them, they go, oh, I see better. And then you have the people you can talk to them, to your family members, all of them. You say, listen, don't spend all your money. Don't do drugs. Don't do crime. You tell them. They don't. And if you go back, James, those are the three times. And if you go back and you look at the biblical days, a lot of people heard the truth. The people that's in jail right now, it's not because they didn't hear the truth. Somebody told them don't do that. It's not like, and somebody told them not to do it. They just chose to ignore it.
But Rob,
those people will always be among us.
Yeah, wait. But I hope it ain't the same people, because I hope that we learn through our experiences that just living on a sugar diet is going to get me what I'm supposed to get with health issues. Okay, so at some point, like I said, the gentleman who told me, "Hey man, I never liked drinking water, and the only time I drank water was maybe at dinner." But then when all of a sudden, when he was in the hospital and was really concerned about his health, and it was because he was just totally, dehydrated.
He's that number two person.
Oh, okay. But Rob, what about
the light bulb went off?
Let's go back to that brother.
Light bulb went off. He says, "Oh, I'm gonna do better now." 2
lifetimes and 60. Most people would have said he's never gonna get out, but he did. So now, wait? And I shouldn't even ask this question, but do you think that him coming out, he's not going to say, "Hey man, I don't want to go back there"?
Oh no, not him. No, not I can't say, but I would have a strong belief not him. Okay. Because he's now I got he's been told, he says he's never going back there.
All right. That's right. But when he was there, but when he was there, Rob, we would have said he was never going back. Wasn't even the question. He was never getting out. That's why at some point in life, I do believe that principles and laws happen.
James, you made me talk about James. You talk growth and development is the number 2 person. Remember, there's those who come on the planet, on the earth, who just automatically see. They just wise. And then you have the people that come on the planet, they don't know, and they learn, and they grow, and they develop, and now they know, and they do better. That's the second person. And then you have people that come on the planet, they're just a dumbass. You can talk to them until you're blue in the face. You can tell them. They don't hear you. They don't believe in nothing.
But that's why we do what we do, though, Rob. Even we want to reach them all. We want to reach as many as we can to say, "Hey, I want to change."
Even the scriptures, scriptures.
Okay.
Jesus says there will always be. The scripture says there will always
be the poor among us. But like I said,
poor among us. And you talk to him until you're blue in the face. But when I heard him say that, and I read that gave me some relief that this is how life works. Those that see when they're told, and those who never see. You can't really spend a whole lot of time on those who are blind and don't see, because we can't make them see. Nobody on the outside can make another see. No one can. We don't have that power because we didn't make them. We can't. We have to focus on the ones who want, the ones who want to do better, the one who says, God, I didn't know that I was wrong. Thank you for sharing with me. Now I can see. Those are the ones we want.
Okay.
Now, Islam says, hi, Robert. How do cryptocurrencies make money? There are no earnings calls, balance sheets, or statements, or revenue or earnings to investigate. Can you provide some clarity? Sure, I can, Islam, and thank you for the question. So she wants to know, how does cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and Ethereum, how do they rise in value? How do they make money? So let me give you an example. And I hope you catch this. When people all over the country, all over the world, play the lottery, they play the lottery. And today they say the lottery is the grand prize is $100 million. And nobody win. So next week they say it's 200 million. It's rising. Now, the more people come in and buy something called supply and demand, the higher the price goes up. There is no rhyme or reason. The higher the price goes up. Let me give you a perfect example. Let me give you a good example. I would say probably 35 years ago, I had Snowy Delight snow cones. I had a snow cone company. I was in financial service. I was a stockbroker, but on the side, I wanted to make some silly money. So I had a snow cone company, and I would make and manufacture snow cones. I actually made all my syrup. We had 50 different flavors of syrup: strawberry, shortcake, raspberry, tutti frutti, banana, coconut. We had so many different types of syrup. And it actually, the type of syrup that in the snow cone, that when you pour it, it smells like tutti frutti. It smells like grape. It smells like orange. It smells like banana. It smells like pineapple. And the snow cones wasn't hard ice. It was like fluffy snow. So the machine made fluffy snow, and that's why we call it Snowy Delight. We would go to festivals all over the country on the weekends. And we would set up our booth, and the lemonade stand used to set up the booth right next door to us. And when you go to the festivals, you didn't have to sell a snow cone for $1. You start off with $2. The lemonade truck next to us, they were selling their lemonade for $3. So we figured we selling ours for $2. They're selling theirs for $3. Hey, people gonna come to us before they come to them, because it's hot outside in South Florida, right? You get me? So the festival would start. Our lines would line up so long. And we would say, oh my God, these lines are so long to buy this $2 snow cone that cost us 5 cents to make. Hell of a profit. Next door, we would look at the lemonade stand, and guess what? They $3 lemonade, the line was just as long as our line. And we said, oh my God. And guess what? The lemonade stand 2 hours later took their price from $3 to $4. And their line still stayed long. And I looked and I said, oh my God, Natalie, we still selling at $2. Our line is long. I said, Natalie, I'm going to jack our price up to $4. Natalie said, Robert, you can't do that because it's going to be too high. People earlier bought it for $2. I say, let's test the water, supply and demand. I put a sign up there and said, hey, y'all, after 1 o'clock, the snow cones cost $4. And I put the sign right there. And we was waiting. And guess what? The lines got longer. And we go, oh my God, people still in line. So we can't believe they're buying a snow cone for $4 for a cup of snow with ice and syrup. It was supply. And then guess what? The lemonade people took that. It was hot outside a festival. music and everything. People out there with blankets. The lemonade people took theirs up to $5. And guess what we did? We followed. This is the lesson that I actually learned firsthand called inflation. We inflated the price. The people stayed in line and kept buying them for $5. I felt like a heel. I'm saying, damn it, I could have been selling this for $5. But I didn't know. I had to test the water. How did I know? Because the people stayed in line. The people kept spending. If the people would have died out and got out of line, what would I have had to do in order to stay in business? I'd had to drop my prices. This is how Bitcoin, this is how inflation happens. You, we, us, business owners take their stuff up. We keep buying it. They got to be a fool not to keep raising the price. They in business. If you say, no, I ain't paying that, guess what they got to do? They got to drop the price because otherwise they're going to go out of business. This is an exercise in supply and demand. I learned that firsthand. I couldn't believe it. First of all, I couldn't believe it. I took my price from $2 for a snow cone to $4 to $5. And it was so hot out there downtown Miami inside the park. They just stayed in line all the way to night. They was buying $5 snow cones 10 o'clock at night. I said, whoo, people. That's why businesses don't really care about what you say. They care about what you do. People could be in that line saying, man, this is high. I said, okay, snow cone's high, huh? Yeah. Give me your $5. And gave me the $5. I want to hear what they were saying. Because money talk. And that's how our U.S. economy works. That's how Bitcoin works. The more people want to buy it, the more the price go up, supply and demand. If people stop buying it, the price will go down. It's simple. It's not earnings. They're not selling anything. It's just hocus pocus. At least I was selling a darn snow cone and they were selling lemonade. When it comes to Bitcoin and crypto, there's nothing to be sold. People just, hey, you bought it, I bought it, and they just bidding the price up. And then people sell it at a higher price, and some people buy it at a higher price.
Rob, got a question. When they buy it and sell it, do they get crypto or do they get dollars?
They get dollars. They get dollars. Just like I got the snow cones. They got syrup. I got the money.
Okay. So you're finding someone who wants to get in the marketing. It's called marketing. They want to get in the game because everybody's talking about.
Listen, that's what I just explained to you. That's economics. They teach that economics 101. They teach that. Good friend David Keith Welch. He said he remembered that he was there. David Welch was there. He saw the snow cones. He understand. Matter of fact, me and David Welch and Aaron took economics 101, economics 102 at Miami-Dade North Campus. I wanted to understand the economy. How does it work? Supply and demand. That's exactly how it works. That right there, that story. If y'all want to know about economics and the economy and inflation, rewind that story, what I just told you. That's how it works. I don't care if it's selling cookies. I don't care if it's selling restaurants. I don't care if it's selling Gucci. I don't care if it's selling cars. It's the same supply and demand. You, the people. It doesn't stop until we stop it, but most people just keep doing it. And the powers to be, the business owner says, we got some fools here. we selling coffee for $10 and they in line. We call it Starbucks and they love it. Well, who's gonna say, come on? Some people like paying a whole lot for stuff. They don't care what it is. They want more cost, the more they want to pay. I probably could have took my snow cones to $10.
And they'd have paid it.
And they would have paid it. If they'd have paid it, you think I was gonna say, no, I ain't gonna charge them $10. It ain't worth $10. If they gonna pay it, come on. That's what business owners do. When you see in grocery stores or if you see anything on sale, they're trying to move the product because it's slowing down. So they give you a 2-for-1. When you go into the malls and they got a 50% on sale, they try to move that stuff. They ain't gonna keep the price up. People ain't buying it. They want to entice you. That's how economics work. That's how supply and demand works. Okay, Islam, you took me off my path, but that's okay. I hope y'all learned something. If anybody learned something off that story, put a 1 in the post. Let me know. Did the light bulb come on? Did you say, I see now? And I use snow cones, but you can use any product or service, and it's the same concept. The business owners
Hey,
against merchants.
and folks, let me tell you, he wasn't just selling snow cones because he sold me the machinery, the ice, and I gave it as a gift to my nephews and my nieces. So
Yes.
that if they wanted to make, so you weren't just selling the product, were you, Rob? You were, I don't know, you probably was getting the cone machines and all that from a manufacturer. You weren't manufacturing, were you?
No, it was a manufacturing company in New Orleans.
Okay.
I actually went to them. I told them put my company name on the machines.
Okay.
They put a plate said Snowy Delight on the machine. No one knew where I got them from. You understand?
you didn't want me to know where I could get it for less. Huh?
That's right. That's right. I didn't want you to know. When you seen that machine, it had a aluminum, a metal plate that was embossed on that machine that said Snowy Delight. So you didn't know where to get the machine from. And when I got the concentrate, I would buy a concentrate of syrup. The syrup would cost me $15 for the concentrate of strawberry syrup or banana syrup. That 1 gallon, I could make 60 gallons out of that 1 gallon. Think about that. The 1 gallon, the mama concentrate cost me $15. I could take that 1 gallon that cost me $15 and produce 60 more babies, 60 more gallons. 60 more gallons.
So hey Rob, so you had 61 gallons for $15.
For $15. Can you believe that? And
I can't believe
and each gallon, if I sold a snow cone at $1, I would get $60. If I sold it at $2, by the time I finished that gallon of snow cones,
120.
I made $120. And if I sold it at $3,
and when you were selling at $5, you were racking, huh?
$5 times 60 of them. That's $300 off that one diluted gallon that I started off with $15 for the concentrate to make 60 of them, and each of them I was at $5. I was making $300. That was better than dope. I was like, economics. That was money. I knew my product, and plus I was manufacturing my own ice, and I had my own cups.
Oh my goodness!
Oh man, I had that stuff down to a science. Anyway, man, y'all threw me off my game. Islam.
I didn't throw you off. Islam brought that up.
Islam. But I hope,
but you know what I think he really wanted to know, Rob. Were you endorsing, that deal? Were you, well, I wouldn't say endorsing, but did you think that those were good investments? I'm sure that's what some people want to know. Cryptocurrency.
Well, crypto is not really an investment. I mean, crypto, it's like the lottery. I mean, people still play the scratch off, without they just, the number come out. It's the same thing. I mean, all
right.
But do I think that if I think it's okay if you want to put a little bit of money, if you want to risk, it depends on your risk tolerance. Some people say they don't want to lose a penny. If you don't want to risk the penny, then you can't put money at risk, because crypto is not guarantees. So if you want to have some money where it's not guaranteed, there are enough people that's going to buy it. That's why the price keeps going up, and you can invest into it. So it depends on your risk tolerance. That's all. It depends on your plan, your financial plan, and what you're trying to accomplish. You should have a plan. You should have goals and objectives. Now, remember when I talked about when you first get a job, you get group insurance. The problem is that having group insurance, you also have some individual insurance, and then after that, they give you benefits, 401k, whatever. So the alternative to a 401k or IRA is you can have a Roth. One thing I don't like, I like the Roth when you put money in, maximum 7,000. But when you put money in, the only thing I don't like about the Roth is when the stock market goes down, it goes down because it can crash too. But I do like when you put money in there, you when you get ready to take the money out, as long as you keep it in there for 5 years, and as long as you 59.5, those are the constraints on it. Then if the market's up, when you get ready to take it out, it's all tax free. That's better than the regular government 401k plans. But a lot of people, at least they do have some sort of savings for retirement, because most people wouldn't have nothing. Okay, now the people that are barbers or beauticians or realtors or Mr. Fix-It, a handyman, a lot of them don't have anything. I would recommend that you can do a SEP, or if you don't want to do the government's plan, you should look at cash value life insurance, like an index universal life, or like some annuities, or some individual ETF stocks. Depends on how risky you are. If you want to know more about that, then you can call the Henderson Financial Group at 305-825-1444, and I'll tell you about that. But after you start saving some money, you have to develop a habit of loving yourself and putting some money away for yourself. That is something that you have to do. I'm telling you. And it's never too late. Once you get past 40 years old, 50 years old, and you realize, you reflect, you've been a fool, you didn't do what you should have done, it's never too late, as long as you're still earning and you have a pulse and you believe. You can still save some of your money and invest your money so your money will grow for you. And I can show you where you should put those based on your personal goals and objectives and your investment temperament. Okay. Now, when you're young and you start now, right now, it's really hard for a lot of young people to buy property, not only in South Florida, but all over the country, but I would suggest, just because you're young and you can't really afford to buy property, especially in major cities, you can't, that shouldn't stop you from buying property somewhere in the country. I remember buying a piece of property for $16,000. As a matter of fact, it was this $16,000. This was 2016, $16,000. And then I went and looked at it, and I paid cash for it, $16,000. It's in Alabama. It's rented out. I get $750 a month for it. That's Section 8 too, and it gives me tax deductions. So when you're young, you could rent, and if you can't own, there are places around the country that you can actually make investments in real estate. Real estate gives you far more tax deductions than you can even imagine. And I definitely like it way better than a 401k, especially if someone's paying the mortgage off for you and you buy the property. You get depreciation, you get write-offs. Even when you go and you visit the place, whether you drive or take a plane, all that's tax deductible as a business expense. And it's going to help you reduce your income taxes on your job. The taxes that they take out, you'll save money. And then eventually 15, 20 years, the renter will pay it off for you. Now it's free and clear, and all the money is coming to you. I like that plan far better than the government's plan. Some people will argue that in the 401k, if they match 3%, that's all I want you to put in, up to the match. Don't put over, because after that, you're taking a whole lot of risk, and you're in bed with the government, and they're going to make you give all the profits back to them later on. The government give it, the government take it. So I like real estate a whole lot better. Now, even if you say that, if you find some property in Ohio, which is some cheap property in Ohio, rental property, or Missouri, you can always find a property manager, and you can go up there to actually manage it for you. But you can get way better deals. Investing in real estate, that was one of my first investments that I did when I was 20 years old. I bought a duplex, 3-1 on each side. Stayed on one side, and the other side, they paid 95% of the mortgage. I paid 5% of it, So I still like real estate today. I think real estate values, especially rental, not so much residential, but real estate will always be around. People are going to need housing. because there's going to be more people. There's 8 billion people on the planet. It will soon be 9 billion, and it'll come a day it'll be 10 billion people on the planet, even though they said that in terms of people are having less babies, but that's only in some communities. we know that. So you should start at least saving at least 10% minimum. If you can save 20 or 25%, man, you cooking with olive oil.
Rob, question. Okay, saving their 10 or 20%, at what point should they be contacting the Henderson Financial Group to talk about the investments of their savings? Or would it be the combination of their savings and their 401k if it's a rollover?
Yeah, they should. When it comes to investing, how much they save and how they save it, they should contact the Henderson Financial Group. We'll tell them how to save, where to save. Depends on their investment temperament. If they're risky, if they're middle, if they're conservative, we'll tell them where you can put money and have access to it. And some people say, listen, I want to put this money away for my children, my grandkids. And we'll tell you, if you put this money away, the company will give you, 45% match. If you don't need the money. So if you put $100,000 in, they'll give you 45,000 match. So now it's 145,000. It's going to grow and you pay no taxes, and you can leave it for your grandkids, and that's wealth building. So, there's a lot of investments out there that most people don't even know that they didn't know that they were out there. So that's why you always got to ask, seek, and knock. You just, a lot of the stuff you can't read about in the newspaper, and they don't talk about it on the radio. You have to have a private relationship with an investment advisor. The investment counselor can tell you what's out there, what's available to you. At the Henderson Financial Group, we do unorthodox stuff. We tell you, and we tell strategies based on your investment temperament, your goals, your objectives. We don't just give you blanket everything. We tell you exactly what you need that's going to fit well with you and you plan. But you got to have a plan, and that's why we like planning. Some people want to plan for a certain retirement age. Some people say, I'm never going to retire, but I want to save because I want to be able to travel and have my income, my investments, pay my expenses, and then have enough for my grandkids or my kids, and then if you do that, eventually you'll get to Social Security. And Social Security, you got to be at least 62 years old. So we counsel a lot of people on the Social Security strategy. I had a client that came in here this week, and he is divorced he's divorced from his wife. And it's strangely, his wife is a client and he's a client, and they get along. And he's a little he's like a year older than her, and he's taking his Social Security now. He says that he wasn't going to wait until 70. He's taking it at 67. And his wife, I told him, I said, she can get half of your Social Security and not file for hers because she's of age. And he said, what? I said, no. You're getting $3,000 a month, even though y'all divorced, since y'all been married for at least 10 years. She don't have to tell you. She can call the Social Security Administration and say, I've been married to this guy for 10 years. He's getting $3,000. I want to get $1,500. And he didn't even know that. A lot of people did not know. As a matter of fact, I was just talking to a doctor in Atlanta. He didn't know that. When he retires and gets Social Security, it's going to be around $4,000. This guy is 68 years old, and he just married a 42-year-old. And
she can get half?
Huh?
And they've been married. If they've been married for 10 years, she can get half.
Well, she has to be at least 62 years old.
Okay.
Now, if he died, then she gets it. But when she get a certain age, she'll be able to get 50% of what he's getting. Now, when I say 50% of what the person is getting, I don't mean taking away from that person. I'll give you a perfect example.
In addition to.
Yes. Okay. I've been married to Natalie, my wife, 38 years. Natalie has not worked in 38 years. She's been a homemaker, had 5 children. All right.
Don't ever say they don't work, bro.
Yeah. She works hard. She works very hard. She do stuff I wouldn't even dream of doing. So anyway, let's say I mean, I'm 60 in September. I'll be 67, but I'm not taking it then. I'm waiting till I'm 70 because I don't really need it. Okay, I don't need more. I don't need it anyway. So let's say when I'm 70 years old, let's just say my Social Security benefits will be $4,000. They're gonna send me $4,000 because I've been working for more than 10 years. Okay, Natalie, they sending me on 4,000, but because she married to me for at least 10 years, she can get $2,000, 50% of whatever I get. So before we get out of bed, when I'm 70. They'll send me 4,000 and they'll send her 2,000. That's $6,000 before we get out of bed. That has nothing to do with my other investments or my wealth or nothing. So but you have had to be married to that joker for 10 years. Now he's got his own wife, he got his own husband or whatever, but you hit 10 years. Now they filed for Social Security. If you at least Social Security age, 62 years old, you could actually file for benefits and not even mess with your personal benefits. And whatever he or she getting, you get half of it. Matter of fact, you don't even have to notify them. All you got to do is just notify Social Security Administration and give them your Social Security and give them his information. And that happens. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people, there's another strategy. If you was married to him or her for 10 years, but then you got remarried. So if you got remarried and you was married at 60, then all bets off. But if you got remarried at 55 years old, at 59, when you're about to turn 60, if you get divorced, tell your husband, listen, we got divorced for 1 year because we still live together, but we divorced. But then at 60, if you can prove that you're not married at 60, you can get your ex-husband half of his Social Security. And in 61, you can go back and remarry and you can still get it. There's so many strategies with dealing with Social Security. And there's so many strategies with deal with Medicare. So Medicare is another chess game. 95% of the people have the wrong type of Medicare insurance plan. They've been sold because whether it's Humana or Simply or somebody talked to them good, but it's not the best plan. There are a lot of plans out there. You have to have a plan that's good for you. Like my plan and my wife Natalie plans, totally different plans. Natalie's 65. Next month I'll be 67. I turned 65. I got Medicare plan also, but my plan is totally different from Natalie plan. We both don't take any medication, so we just try to get the ones that gives us the most bang. So there's strategy for even Medicare Advantage plans or Medicare supplemental plans. And most people don't know it, James. At the Henderson Financial Group, we do that. And the reason why I know all that stuff, because Robert loves Robert. I'm going to find out about it. And then I'm going to tell you. And I tell you, I study this stuff and I tell you which one. So if you want to know more about Medicare strategies, I don't care if you had the same plan and you think it's a good plan, I promise you, there are plans out there that you don't even know that are better plans than what you have. So call Henderson Financial Group, 305-825-1444, and we will give you a free checkup. We'll look at your plan, look at your doctors, look at your medication that you're taking, and match a plan right up with you until you don't have to pay us anything. When we do that, Medicare pays us. Okay, and we don't care which plan you get, because we have to take a test every year on all the new plans and all the new strategy and all the new stuff that they're offering. Can you believe that? And it's like watching paint dry. But we take it. Oh man, I'm Fantastic. So over. And last one is wills and trust. Oh my God, I cannot. We just helped 3 people last week do a living trust. Ladybird deeds and everything, and I have some coming today. So you really need to do, because you'd be surprised, people just drop dead, man. I mean, Malcolm Warner Jamal, he didn't know that he was going to drown. Most people you don't know, but you got to be prepared to be, instead of being unprepared. And you don't sleep on that, man. You can't come back from dead to sign documents and avoid probate and problems, especially you all that have been married a couple times and you have children from different marriages.
And the time to do it is now, Rob. That's what
right
we got
now.
to emphasize.
Right now.
The time.
Right now.
Don't put it off. Whatever it is.
So if you call the Henderson Financial Group, we got a whole program, a link I can send you to help you with that plan. Man, Dave, we like 7 minutes over, James.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. My prayer today comes from our friend Ted Lucas today. And the prayer is for today. and for you. So, Father God, Lord Jesus, Holy Spirit, we thank you for calling us to follow you and your direction in our lives. Oh, my goodness, Rob. Thank you that you are a moving God and that to journey with you always mean taking steps of faith. We talked about that earlier, Rob. You got to be willing to take the steps of faith into the unknown. We look forward to the new places of blessing that you have for us. In Jesus' name, amen. Rob. Well, anyway, folks, that's a prayer for Rob and myself as well today. And we want to say thanks to Ted Lucas for that prayer.
Thank you, Ted. Take your thing. Islam, you say great show. Hey, Islam, you like that explanation I gave you? Hit it. So now you know how Bitcoin and cryptocurrency works. It's just hocus pocus, supply and demand. You know, it depends on
Lotto.
buying. Lotto. It depends on who's buying and who's selling. It's the prices. That's how they come up with the prices. Supply and demand. Supply and demand. You know, that's how I came up with snow cone prices. Supply and demand. More people got in that line to buy, the more that price went up.
Rob, did you sell that company?
Yes. You know, when I sold that company because I started watching the news and I started seeing the crime in the communities and people beating people were snatching purses and beating women up, and crime was getting so bad. I did not want to be out there with a snow cone cart and somebody kill me or my family over snow cone and some money. I said, "Mo, it's time to pack up." I sold that company, man. Okay. And got rid of it and just focused on financial. So I was doing financial service at the same time, man. I was always trying to get income in different sources. Always been like that, man. You know,
multiple sources of income.
Oh yeah, that's me. Much love. Okay, Joe Witherspoon, you and Miss Witherspoon, y'all have a great day. Listen, be careful. In South Florida, we have mixed weather here, you know, sun and then rain. But I want you all to be careful. Same time, same station. I hope you all learned something today. If you need to watch this program again, remember it's on YouTube and it's also on Facebook. If you go to YouTube, all you have to do is go to the THE Henderson Financial Group, and you're going to see me and James T on there talking. I talk about different things, and the shows are from way back, even last year. And you can just sit there, and it's a plethora of information. All right. Also on Facebook. We love you. Right, James?
Amen.
All right.
Have a great day, everybody. Be safe. Yes. Hydrate. If you're in South Florida, hydrate.
Water. That's the best thing, ain't it?